Welcome to the world. No, not the world you're thinking of. This is the world of seagrass forests. You are a newborn dugong born in the shallow seagrass beds where the Indian and Pacific Oceans meet. You're barely a meter long and weigh about 30 kilograms. Your bones are softer than your self-esteem on a Monday morning. You are essentially a blob of salty pudding floating in the sea. Your mother is up to 3 meters long and weighs nearly 400 kilograms. She moves like a slowed-down film and breathes as if letting out a long sigh at life. But to you, she is the only trustworthy giant in this underwater hunting ground. Because in this world, almost everything could eat you. She's the only one who, for now, hasn't tried. Though your chubby figure and constant goofy grin often make others mistake you for a whale or a dolphin, you're actually the only fully marine member of the manatee family. Like them, you're a mammal, and you need to surface to breathe. So she gently lifts you with her flippers and pushes you toward the surface. You break through the water, and your lungs burst open like they've been waiting forever. You choke on a gulp of seawater. Your first breath is also your first test. Congratulations, you passed. You thought that was the hard part? No, that was just the opening act. You spend the first 3 months of your life learning just one thing: how to drink milk. And you take it seriously. You stay tucked under your mother's belly almost around the clock. Her milk is thick and rich, with over 15% fat, far more than human milk and close to liquid cream. Every day, you drink like you're downing salty, condensed milk, until bubbles foam at the corners of your mouth. Too bad it's the only thing on the menu. At this stage, your lungs are small, your bones still soft. You can't dive, let alone feed or flee. So you stay glued to your mom. Anything more than half a meter away from her is basically the Hunger Games, Ocean Edition. Tiger sharks and hammerheads often circle along the edges of the seagrass, waiting for you to drift off and become their high-protein lunch. But what truly keeps you up at night isn't them. It's the silence. When the seagrass beds sink into darkness and the sea surface rises and falls with the tide, you hear a low hum from another dugong. You press yourself tightly against your mother, trembling all over. 14 months in, you're weaned. The fat feast is over. Welcome to your first real survival lesson: eating grass. Your mom starts demonstrating her slow but not particularly graceful feeding routine. What you've got is an upper lip that curves downward, like a vacuum nozzle mounted upside down. It's built to scrape along the seafloor, fitted with a fringe of bristly whiskers that help you detect buried leaves. You work like a living sediment blender. Every mouthful of grass comes mixed with sand, shell fragments, and the occasional microscopic crustacean. You don't complain. This is the only skill you have, and the only one you'll ever need. Your diet is simple and stubborn. Seagrass, more seagrass, and some other seagrass that only looks slightly different. Halophila ovalis, Cymodacea rotundata, Syringodium isoetafolium. What you're chewing is the green lung of the tropical seabed. An adult dugong consumes up to 40 kilograms of plants per day to maintain its several hundred kilo body mass. And you? You're just getting started. 10 kilos a day makes you a decent lawnmower in training. You eat the old leaves. That clears the way for new shoots to kick off photosynthesis, release oxygen, absorb carbon dioxide, and keep the seabed stable. So, in a way, you're an underwater carbon-neutral technician, munching and oxygen-producing at the same time. Sounds heroic, right? Too bad reality doesn't hand out medals. What it gives you is a sea urchin spike up your nostril, coral wedged in your face, and the occasional plastic bag surprise hiding in a mouthful of sand. You have a distant cousin called the manatee. It lives in the warm inlets of the Western Atlantic, places like Florida, the mouth of the Amazon, or the Caribbean. It eats grass, swims around, and stays plump, looking so much like you it could be a copy-paste job. But there is one big difference. You have it harder. You pick the hardcore outdoor mode for your habitat. Your turf is the tropical coastal waters of the Indian and Western Pacific Oceans. No sheltered river mouths here. No seasonal migration routes either. What you get instead are tropical storms and monsoon tides that arrive every year right on schedule. While manatees nap in river mouths, you are bracing against wind, riding out waves, and dodging debris. Yes, even coconuts and fishing nets. You can't dive into the deep like a fish and let your gills handle it. You can't flap away like a bird and clock out in the sky. You can only float 2 meters below the surface, hold your breath, and let fate flip a coin. You tuck your tail fin tight, press your nostrils as close to the seafloor as you can and slide into a dip in the thick seagrass. You ride out storms by being silent and invisible. You are now 2 years old. You weigh over 150 kilos, stretch close to 2 meters, carry a solid layer of fat, and breathe steady. Congrats, you just got your independence license, which means your mom officially leaves you. She might switch to another patch of grass or start working on her next kid. Either way, she is not coming back. It sounds like freedom. Soon you find out freedom does not mean company. You are a creature with a painfully low social threshold. The dugong is a textbook example of a solitary marine mammal. You do not dance in pods like dolphins or call across oceans like whales. Most of the time, you glide alone over the seagrass beds. When you meet another dugong, you might get within a few meters to catch a whiff, then turn away without a word. No elaborate hierarchy, no family ties. You do not claim territory, but you remember exactly where the tastiest grass grows and which bay is drowned in boat noise every day at 4. Yes, you fear boats now. You once saw it happen. A young dugong surfaced to breathe. Seconds later, a speedboat's propeller cut him clean in half. You were less than 50 meters away. That was the first time you understood what human technology really means. At 12 years old, you enter sexual maturity. You watch her slowly swim towards you from a distance, more than 2.5 meters long. Her skin is smooth and her tail fin broad, the marks of a healthy female. Her movements are calm and her swimming slow. This means she is willing to let you approach. You swim around her, drawing close and then moving away again, a silent exchange between you. She accepts you. With the current as cover, mating is over in only a few minutes. When you leave, you feel a quiet emptiness. You have done your part, and like the father you have never met, you slip away quietly. After 50, your breathing grows heavy. Each time you surface for air, it feels like dying. You swim slower, you eat less. Seagrass becomes harder to digest. You once consumed 40 kilos a day. Now, you can't finish even half. It's not that you don't want to eat. Your teeth are worn, your gut is slow. Nutrients no longer make it through in time. One day, you drift into a damaged coral reef. Fishing nets have merged with the sea. By the time you realize it, your tail fin is already tangled. The more you struggle, the tighter it gets. Seawater floods your lungs. Just before your mind breaks apart, you see a young dugong watching you from a distance. A few days later, your body becomes a floating ecosystem. Hermit crabs, small fish, and salt-tolerant bacteria take root in you. You are dead, but you feed many lives. The seagrass you once grazed now grows again, anchored to your bones, forming a new layer of green. You return to the ocean, not as a dugong, but as part of nature.